Gillespie from the corner, twisting and turning inside out. Beautiful move, trying to get to Son. He holds, he shoots, he scores! Absolutely!
The pitch, high fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives him a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
We're winding down with that 10th season logo by Anthony Veltri, who's not here. He's up in Erie putting up signs on major roadside things up in Erie with his dad. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. We got Jim Frazier, Chip Hayner, Nick Callis, and thank you for watching us in our live studio every Tuesday night on Facebook Live. And it's on 4 or 5 other times during the week, 7 o'clock to 8. We're in the BPTV studio right here in the municipal building in downtown Bethel Park. Police are to the right. Up above is the library Smokin' Jim hasn't visited. And the mayor's offices and admin offices are up there. So, and that's where they do the monthly meetings they have up there in their room up there.
They have a missing poster of him up in the
Oh,
library.
there's a big red line over that.
Have you seen this man?
No doubt. Then thanks to all of you watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, City of Pittsburgh, and greater Allegheny County area. So we appreciate all of you here watching us. And I found out, Nick, this is for you.
Ooh.
We have 6.9 thousand followers.
Right.
Now they let the likes back in, so we
Did
have
they?
6.9 thousand likes. But it should have been 6,984 likes.
Yeah, so is it still just the...
It didn't show, it just shows 6.9, because with the wisdom of Facebook,
I'll get us an exact number.
Smokin' Jim can't even understand this, but they just play games with their
Wait a
analytics
minute,
and all the
you're
little
telling me
things.
that there's wisdom on social media?
No.
Sure there, well...
No, I said there's lack of. I said lack of wisdom.
Okay.
Definitely.
I was
So
confused.
we appreciate you here, and I've been delaying a little bit. Shout out to Anthony Veltri watching us right now.
Yeah.
Amy Sliss at Giant Eagle. She says, hello, guys. Welcome back, Chip.
Thank you.
Speaking of Chief is watching. Hello. And anybody else that didn't show up on here, we appreciate you. I got some promos. We called Steve Fisher, working for the company that handles nonprofits, because he's an accountant there. He does their business. He's going to film this. Let's see what shows up. Get a close-up on it. Steve, you know they told us with the close-ups there. Let's see what you got. 1, 2, 3. Whoa.
Hey!
Steve Fisher's on fire. He's the MVP of all of our volunteers.
Former Rookie of the Year.
And I just want to share this out. He came as a special favor for me, Nick, and Josh to
Yeah.
help out, because he actually doesn't work. Well, Smokin' Jim doesn't either, but he doesn't work for BPTV anymore. But look at that. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 412-831-1900. They sponsor our show with an XL pepperoni pizza. Rico, the Puerto Rican, makes it each week for us, and Smokin' Jim doesn't know how he does it. He really doesn't, because not that he's racist, but he says things that sound like they're racist. He's actually a very nice guy. Glad I got that out of the way. And they also give us a hoagie cut in 6 slices. And Steve will make sure he gets a bite or two of that. They have great Italian food, desserts, pasta. They even have eggplant parmesan and all kind of things like that. And you can check out their salads too and desserts. And they even have, as we call it here in Pittsburgh, pop, plenty of different pop and water. All right, that's Olive Oil's. Shout out to Frank Fanera, who wasn't there tonight, but he helped sponsor our show. We appreciate that. All right. We'll test Steve on these. He's a superstar. Chip Hayner's watching. We just got a special co-host sighting. We got a sighting. It just popped up. Not everything pops up here. And Amy, I just wanted to share this with you that all of us on the show watch 24/7 sports. Even when we're sleeping, we watch sports. So when you tell us what the Steelers did, we knew it in advance because we're thinking about them all the time. We bleed black and gold. But thank you for your update, and we'll talk about that too because we're a little bit upset about New England beating us, so that'll be our tease for some intros.
Can I interrupt real quick? I got the official total for you.
Go ahead.
We got 6,900 followers exactly.
No, I know the followers.
Likes, oh my goodness, 6,997 likes.
Yes!
Oh, 3 more ways.
All right, anybody watching for our first time, like
7K,
Pittsburgh Sports Line. I'll
They
have
got
to
to
get
follow too, right?
Well, I
No.
don't care if they follow, just like.
No,
That
they
work?
changed it back. They added
Oh, they
likes back
changed it
because
back.
people were upset.
Okay.
Ralph
Yeah.
Williams says hello, guys.
That's my man.
On PCTV. Watch whatever he does. Ralph Williams is all over the TV at PCTV. All right, where are we at? Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. We got to get Steve back to it. Josh, flip back to Steve's camera. This is live TV. Look at that picture. The MVP of BPTV. We got to do a graphic for MVP.
When the MVP meets the VIP.
Yeah. This is all VIP'd and MVP'd up. All
might
right.
be 4th and 1.
2600. Let me do my promos. We got plenty to do. 2600 South Park Road. Red and white trolley there. You all know the trolley, not a T. We got T tracks that comes through Bethel Park. And there's even a Lidl stop right across from the studio. If you need to get the T and want to watch our show, come on in. We'll see you there. They do a lot of great things. They have a library. They have a remodeled 1905 schoolhouse from top to bottom. All brand new windows, brand new roof, a new cupola for the bell, the traditional bell that kids get their photos with. They also bought a new bell that's at the high school so they can continue that tradition. Smoking Jim understands that at Gateway. They have a tradition of paying parents to work in their community so their kids can play. And you can donate money to the Bethel Park Historical Society, as little as $1. All right, another 501c3. Let's see, look at that. He's showing Bennett. Bennett was the kid that died at 16 and a half. He was handicapped, but he was always smiling and happy. His parents, Kristen and Dean, decided to start a 501c3. It's a nonprofit. You can donate as little as $1. And now that Smokin' Jim does online banking or investing, he can send $10 of Bitcoin to them. I mean, if he has it.
No, he lost it.
Well, I know he's lost something, but we're not sure.
Yeah, just like-
Mostly from the neck up.
Just like most of the money he bets.
Yes. Yeah, we won't get into that. So they started Always Be Smiling. I saw on there the other day, I looked to see, because I've been telling everybody we took them to 800 to 1,200 likes, and it said I only had 411 of my friends like Always Be Smiling. So I have 4,747 friends. Some of you are slacking. So I need you to like it. Smokin' Jim, like their page. Chip, like the page. And Nick, see
I
if
did.
you can add to it. All right. But
Always
then-
be smiling.
Yes, they do a lot of great things in the neighborhood. Montour Trail, they run different events. Other areas in the South Hills at Upper St. Clair, the farm that's there. They go Holland Farm. They do some things there. So check them out. They give money to help kids getting transplants in their families. So they do great things right around here. All right. Next up, let's see what Steve, the MVP, does. Whoa, look at that close-up of Joey Fabus. How about his brother, Nick?
Nope.
Or not Nick, what am I saying? I saw Nick at the 5K 1 mile run. I talked to him, Josh, forgot to tell you that. So saw another Nick, I'm surrounded by him. But Josh Fabus is in the control room. What's he doing in there, Smoking Jim?
He's
I already
doing his
liked
thing.
it.
He's working the ones and the twos.
Okay, thank you. We needed that. So thanks to Josh, but we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. They started the Joey Favis Childhood Cancer Foundation. They had their biggest event on Sunday. It was a great day. The sun was out, and they had over 300 people in the race. It was crowded there. I did interviews. They edited it and put it up. My guy Nick right here, not Josh's brother, but Nick right in there, the VIP, he filmed the show with me and let me interview everybody. From girl cheerleaders to their coaches. I got to give a shout out to Bob Hayes. I met his daughter, Christy Hayes. She helped with the cheerleaders who were cheering the runners in, and they did a great job with their pom-poms and outfits.
Don't forget you're on camera with Batman.
Yeah, I got a Batman, and then I do a young man from Ivanovich Landscaping in Bethel Park. He's a runner. We did a special interview with him while he was sweating all over me. And we didn't know what time he did, but he went rather fast.
Bob Hayes was my favorite Dallas Cowboy.
Well, this guy's a white guy.
Oh, he's white.
And he's a photographer.
Okay. Different
You
one.
remember, I just talked to Nick about this.
He said he was a runner.
Oh,
No, the event was running.
Okay.
He's a photographer. I met him at the Galleria. And remember we did a show at Stone Pepper's Grill?
Yes.
And they had a big photo of like the baseball field.
Yes, sir.
And we did a couple interviews there.
Yes, sir.
Guess who took that photo?
Bob Hayes?
Yeah, Smoking Jim's smarter than y'all thought. And I met him at the Galleria,
Bullet Bob
and I
Hayes.
told him Frank Fabus told me you were the guy that took that photo at Stone Pepper Grill.
You got a memory on you.
Well, 66, buddy. I'm hanging in there, doing the best I can. All right, donate anything you have from $1 to whatever you can afford to the Joey Favis Childhood Cancer Foundation. Talk to Josh's mother and Joey's mother, Cindy, and Dad. First time ever got an interview with Dave Favis. I was honored to do that. He has a 4-year anniversary on his heart transplant.
Wow.
Not only did he lose 2 children, but he needed a new heart. And he's healthy like me and doing well. So it's all good there. That's my update there. Now I got to tell you, Dave Cable likes to have fun at my expense. We'll see what Steve does with this. He said it's up. I don't see it. There's a delay. Little delay.
Woo! He wants a little money under the table.
Whoa. I want to see your money on top of the table. All right, Dave likes a little fun. He stuck my face in Uncle Sam. Smoking Jim just learned. We don't know how old Smoking Jim is, but he went to Gateway, so we know his education's a little sketchy. When he didn't know who Uncle Sam was, and last week I told you it was in 1812, Uncle Sam was stamped on the food and water and stuff, and it was U.S., Sam, and the guys were calling it Uncle Sam, and it started in 1813.
You could have gave me a true and false.
You wouldn't have known. I want you for BPTV. You can be like the ex-volunteer Steve Fisher. You can be like Nick, and you can be like Josh Fabus. And Anthony Veltry's messaging it, and I'll read the message after this before we do the next thing. It's probably an important update from Anthony and Erie. You can be a volunteer here. If you're at high school and you're looking for audio and video and possible TVs or other video type things, especially with all these smartphones.
if you want an opportunity, just wait for Smoking Jim not to show up. And then
Yeah.
that's all I got here.
Yeah. Smoking Jim's
I'm
nickname
due,
is
ain't I? I'm due.
Smoking Jim's nickname is Wally Pip. But somehow he's still with us. He's back by popular demand. If I
Affirmative
say,
action.
whenever I say Smoking Jim's in the hospital, which is 1 to 5 times a year, his sweeties contact me nonstop because they don't even have his phone number, and he doesn't answer their text or phone
Oh,
calls.
thank you, buddy.
So I pass the word.
That's what you call a wingman.
Yeah, definitely. A true. All right, let's get to this last promo so we can move on. Sorry we were a little long-winded, but we're trying to ease Josh into doing a great job. Look at how he's doing here. Thank you, Josh. Look at that. Wanted, Bethel Park groups and organizations who need money. They got an asterisk here, not Smoking Jim Frazier. We have money for you. $100 to $5,000 in grants. We've given out over $1 million in 26 years. Go to bpcf.org, get an application for your group that's doing great things to make better groups in Bethel Park doing good things. That's all. You'll be even better. And you can help us out in Bethel Park. We appreciate it. So check out bpcf.org. And that's all I got with that. So we're going to go to our highlight of the show. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Overhand fastball.
you got to see Levine. But hey,
Oh, thank you, sir.
I've been saying this for the last 8 months, and
Why?
I'm going to repeat it again because
Why?
I think this is critical. The Steelers' best chance or only chance of winning is with Mason Rudolph. Number one, Mason Rudolph is 6'5". He's 235 pounds. He's a pocket passer. He can get the football downfield to the gifted receivers. He knows the offense inside out in the offensive personnel. And he's the only quarterback on their roster who can make changes and, audibilize because Canada has faith in him. And that is a big reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers lost last game, because they would not allow Mitch Trubisky to audibilize. And he would immediately get control of the huddle. The huddle's getting out of control right now. Mitch Trubisky is no captain. Not his fault. He's only been here a couple of weeks. They should never have made him captain. The huddle's out of control. George Pickens is a diva. I told you guys he was going to be a diva if he didn't get the ball.
Hold a
He's a-
timeout.
What?
He had problems in college.
Yeah, that's what I told you. Had
I
problems
said
everywhere.
that too.
Yeah, you did. And he's a great talent. He's a Randy Moss. Even though it don't look like he's open, throw him the ball, he'll get it. If he ain't catching the football, he's going to be a problem. And that huddle is already a problem with the play calling, and that's what's on my mind. Mason Rudolph. It's Mason Rudolph time.
Well, I hate to bring up.
Didn't I say it?
I hate to bring up for all your friends and family, and especially your mother's birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Mama.
birthday to Smoking Jim's mama, and many, many more. And you raised one of my best friends right here. So
Thank you, sir.
I'm honored that you did. Somehow, some way, you're in my prayers. And I got to share this. Anthony Veltry's update. Hello, guys from Erie. I'll be coming back tomorrow and then going to a Five Finger Death Punch concert. And we'll be back at the studio on Thursday.
Smoking doesn't know who that
Is
is.
that MMA? Bruce Lee?
It's
It's
a,
like country music.
Oh, it's a concert. Wow.
Yeah, it's
oh,
right.
I don't know if it's country music, but
He says country's his favorite, so
Yeah.
he understands
I love
concert.
country.
got it.
It's not country.
Got it.
But I knew you'd understand. Chip, we got a question before your What's on Your Mind. Tony
Yeah.
from Chick-fil-A. He goes, hi, Smoking Jim.
Hey, Tim.
Trivia question for Chip. What was the Pittsburgh Pirates starting lineup in 1876?
They weren't around in
No,
1876.
77. That's a trick
No,
question.
yeah, they weren't
It
around
was
in
a trick
1876.
question by Tony, but I
I
brought
thought it was
up.
1887.
Yeah, I think it is.
So there was
They were the
11 years
Alleghenies.
too soon.
They were the Alleghenies back
Right.
then, most likely.
Yeah, but I could have faked it.
Let him look for it. Yeah. He was gonna. Here's what he was gonna do. He was gonna verify it with our baseball non-expert, Smoking Jim.
Yeah.
But other than that, what's on your
What's
mind?
on my
Chip?
mind? What's on my mind? To think that the Steelers' offensive output in the first two games of the season has been pathetic would be a correct assumption. It has been. Is it surprising that the Steelers' offense
No.
is struggling? And I say absolutely not, because this offense has not played well up until the first game against.
First time.
It was the first time they played together at all, because nobody plays in the preseason. And what the offense should have been doing was playing every down in the preseason because you have a new quarterback. You've got a new offensive system. You've got a bunch of new young rookie talent. You've got inexperienced receivers in Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool who haven't really proved anything yet, even though Deontay Johnson is impressing me with some of the catches that he's making.
He has been.
You know, he
done
has
well.
made some nice games. So it's not surprising that the Steelers defense or Steelers offense is struggling. The Steelers defense has played well enough in both games to win both games. And to think that the only problem with the Steelers offense is the play of the quarterback just kind of displays a lack of knowledge. I don't care who is playing quarterback. The way the offense has been performing, it wouldn't make a difference. Now, I happen to agree with Smoke and Jim that the quarterback that's on the roster
Oh, this is rare.
that
Let me write
has
that down.
has the best deep ball of any of the three on our roster is Mason Rudolph. And if you want to be able to open up the running game, you need to take the top off the defense. You need to throw the ball deep so they can't pack 9 in the box. You know, you're just 7 is not going to block 9 ever, and you know, and they're playing in on the routes. You need to start throwing the deep ball, and that will open things up. The offensive line, surprisingly enough, has played much better than I had anticipated. If you saw the way they played in the preseason,
I did.
they looked fairly pathetic. Now, I just want to take a look over to the other side of Ohio, and here's a team that invested almost $100 million in an offensive line, drafted high draft picks, paid people quite a lot of money to protect the next quote-unquote GOAT, Joe Burrow, who I said is overrated to start with. He is now on pace to be sacked 111 times this year.
Is that all?
Chew on that one for a minute. If he does get sacked that many times this year, he's not going to see the midseason, let alone the end of the season. So, you talk about the Steelers line being pathetic. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals. And they went to the Super Bowl with a pathetic offensive line last year. So, what the Steelers need to do is they just need to work through their differences. The solution to their problems is on the roster right now. They just need to get together, get everybody on the same page. The receivers have to run the right routes. The offensive linemen have to make the correct blocks. Running backs have to hit the proper holes. None of these things are happening right now. These are things that are all fixable. The only thing that's going to fix it is repetitions and, of course, the Cleveland Browns.
I'm not going to interrupt or interject anything, but I have some things to add to all of that.
Please do.
Because one of my pet peeves is offensive line. And I've only seen a little bit of an improvement. And the one thing I wanted to share is last year, Najee set a record, beat Franco Harris's rookie record, and they didn't block. He was getting hit 5 to 7 yards in the backfield. Now he's only getting hit 2 to 4 yards in the backfield, in my humble opinion.
Well,
And sometimes they've opened a hole.
And here's the problem. He's
I
not
wanted to
hitting
bring
the
that
holes.
up.
He's not hitting the holes when they're open. And, he's not making yardage after contact right now.
Right.
And that will change, okay? But everything is going to depend on them stretching the field.
Right, but a little defensive Najee, he's getting hit after he had a struggle to get to where the linebackers are.
But
I've played running back before, and it hurts. I can imagine
No,
that
no,
he's
no.
stricken a
Chip
struggle.
saluting, he will get better.
Nick, here's what. You weren't playing against 340, 350-pound defensive linemen.
When's the last time you played running back? Okay.
I would say at least 40 years ago.
There you go.
You were a running back as a football player?
Yeah, I played running back. I played quarterback. Yes, I did. I played football.
Oh.
We're a couple quarterbacks over here.
What was he holding a bat and throwing a ball? This is too outrageous. Chip, thank you for what's on your mind. We appreciate it. I could add a couple things. Ralph has a guest tonight, Claudio Rosano.
We know him for the show.
Yeah, he's been a multiple guest, many times, even brought his teams from CMU.
He even came on your show.
He even did my Talking Machine show to promote his book. great book. I read it in a couple days. Very good read, very positive. And he said, happy birthday to your mom, Smoking Jim.
Thank you. I'll save him.
Ralph's a fan of our show, and then he goes and does his show afterwards, I think. I can't keep track of all the shows he has.
Jim will save him a piece of her chocolate cake.
Yeah. Then shout out to a friend of mine, Mark Richard, from my Post-Gazette and Press days out in the North Hills. He's an Ironman, and he does all these events, and he's almost my age. He does Ironman events all over the country. He got hurt and couldn't do it. So, Mark, I hope you're doing better. If you're listening, you take care. And Chief comes up with, wonder what Chipper thinks of the new rules in baseball. We don't have time to speed up the game. We'll talk about that another time, Chief.
We'll talk about that another time, Chief.
Yeah, now, I appreciate all of you, so I interrupt the show to interact with you. And Amy, thanks for your updates on the score. Just so you know that some of us have phones that are keeping us updated on the games.
Yeah, Aaron Judge grounded out his first time out.
There you go.
Boo.
Yankee, Aaron Judge trying to break Roger Maris's record.
He's batting
Google it.
leadoff tonight. They're getting him extra at-bats.
They've started about a month ago doing it.
How many homers my guy got?
59.
You know what he needs to tie?
2 more.
How about the win?
Look at them.
3.
Great.
Jim Ellenbogen says anyone who ever played can see the offensive play calling is pathetic. And instead of a fullback or 2 block tight ends, they are calling doomed calls. There's Jim giving an insight or two. Thank you for that. Okay, Ralph Williams says he's on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Check out the Twitch.
Is he a
Amy,
gamer?
come
That's what
back
Twitch
with
is.
something. Smoking Jim, tell your mom that I said happy birthday.
Already did.
He did already. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
All right, where we at? What's on your mind, Nick Callis?
All right, so, well, I want to talk about these guys. That's why I wore the shirt. Still in support, but I'm going to backpedal a bit from what I said last week. I was pretty passionate in defense of the defense for the Steelers, and he was not happy with the offense. And then I look back at some of the statistics. I wanted to give the Steelers offensive credit because of catches that Deontay Johnson was making and the fact that they scored so many points so quickly on a Bengals team that had so much promise. But then I acknowledged the second half and overtime of the game against the Bengals, and I was like, that's why I was upset.
Thank you, Nick.
They didn't perform well. And then against the Patriots, I mean, the defense let up 17 points, and one of those touchdowns that the Patriots scored was because of a muffed punt. So, like, the defense gave them a chance to win that game, and they didn't. So the offense has some problems. I look at Mitch Trubisky, and I'm like, the guy looks a little bit afraid. I'm not going to go as far as to say that Mason Rudolph should just be thrown in there. I agree captain acknowledgement was a bit excessive for its time. It's like, let's not draw attention to things while we draw attention to things. That's what Mike Tomlin does.
Let me interrupt you on this.
We don't want to care about this,
Here.
but we just want you to know.
Could you create any more stress for a new quarterback on your team?
But I don't know if
Why would you make him a captain
I guess that would add
when
some
he
stress.
hasn't worked with anybody, really?
They wanted to make him feel. I think that
Well, if
was.
they really wanted
that was
to
a
make him
silly.
feel
That was kind of an effort to make him feel comfortable.
Then they
but I
shouldn't
think
have
it did-
drafted
No,
Kenny Pickett.
I
That's
agree.
what I was gonna say.
I feel like it's like you wanted to make him more comfortable by doing that, but I feel like
Hold it! Don't
feel
don't
like-
draft Kenny Pickett.
I got you. I hear you.
How can you not
I
be
hear you.
nervous about that?
I hear you.
He's
I-
looking over your
I hear
shoulder
you.
and they're calling for him
I
when
hear
he
you.
throws an interception.
I hear you. I hear you.
Unbelievable.
I hear you. I get it. Trust me. I get it. I get all those
My
points.
black and gold's coming out.
I hear you. So
Everywhere.
I hear you. But yeah, he doesn't look comfortable, and I feel like there are all these elements around him that aren't making him feel comfortable. On top of that, the offensive line is struggling now. The only difference with Trubisky is that he can move a little bit better, but I feel like he's going after the safe passes, the checkdowns, the shorter passes, and they're not really going deep, which again, is not a great offensive attack, but I'm not going to blame him so much. I just feel
I'll
like
tell you in my
the only thing I'm
going
going
to
to blame the only thing I'm going to blame Trubisky for is
I'll tell you who.
his lack of confidence. But like Trubisky's a bit justified. I'm not ready to overhaul the man yet. I think that they should still roll with him as the quarterback and have him develop more confidence, at least for the next 4 to 5 weeks. So Rudolph's not the answer. I don't think he's the answer. And who else are you going to put in there? Pickett, destroy his confidence? That'd be great for future plans. Since everybody here seems to be worried about the future, let's just throw the guy in. I guess they're saying that they shouldn't have drafted Pickett in the first place, but I feel like with the proper development, everything's going to work out at some point in the near future. That's what's on my mind.
It's fair enough. That's fair. I'd have to tend to agree with you. I do think
Thank
that Kenny
goodness.
Pickett will ultimately be the Steelers' starting quarterback. Do I think it's prudent to throw him to the Wolves right now? I think it would be a huge mistake.
All of us except Smoking Jim agree with that.
That's it.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate your apology. Now you know my passion. Shout out to my son Drew. I bit my tongue and didn't interrupt Nick because he fired up the same buttons for me, because I'll give you who you can blame about what's on my mind. I saw Ben Roethlisberger play, and he took all kind of grief because he's crippled. He's a Hall of Famer. Should have retired 4 years ago. And we had a offensive coordinator. What's his name? What's that Canada country up there? Oh, Canada. So he's in charge. So now I'm watching the games, and I see the same plays that I saw with a ancient, crippled, Hall of Fame quarterback. Then I think, what are they telling Trubisky? Because he has a pretty good, strong arm. I heard Charlie Batch on the radio said he saw 17 of the 20 practices, and Mitch Trubisky had the best arm out of all three. He was throwing a powerful ball and everything else. So I go, oh, Canada is telling him, don't you throw an interception. If you think you're going to throw one, throw down. Throw it off somewhere else, because it looks like that. Now Trubisky can run, but he can't do it on every play, even though he doesn't have a good pocket presence with how they're not holding out certain players at different times. Shout out, Dan Moore, who looked terrible. The left tackle in the preseason? He looked like a rusty gate. We would call you a rusty gate when you'd let the defensive player come in to hit the running back, quarterback, and anybody else. That's what he looked like. How did he start the block? So, Chip, I give you some credit with what you've seen. They are blocking, or as I told Nick many times, as an offensive lineman, just stand in front of somebody, because they have to walk around you. So that's what they're doing.
Especially when you're 340 pounds.
Thank you. I rest my case. Or at least if you're 290, just stand in front
If
of
you're
them.
290, you're probably playing tight end.
Yeah. Oh, we've had that before. So, Chief, thanks for the good point. He gave me a quick one. Shout out to Chet Grassi, our boxing friend. Thanks for watching us.
my man.
But my point is, they're a little discombobulated as a team. They didn't practice enough, like most teams in the NFL now, because of the CBAs. They don't play their starters because they're afraid of the I word, the injury. And look what you get. Now it takes 1 to 4 games before teams start to play with some consistency.
Yes.
All of us have played on teams. Can you start up in the first game and do what you want? Not unless you practiced.
Good point.
So how come we're all asking for Kenny Pickett? I say put him in, and then you're done with him for the whole year. Put him in next game.
You may be done with him for good.
Yeah, but I'm saying all of you guys that want Kenny Pickett there because he's the new kid on the block, put him in, and then you'll see exactly what will happen. He's going to run for his life. They're going to talk to him on the sideline, stay in the pocket. You're going to watch him get killed. Then you're going to see him running back 20 yards and trying to throw a ball. Just my little opinion here.
Well, what are they going to do when they've already booed Mitch Trubisky? They've already booed Mason Rudolph. And then when they have Kenny stumbles and falls, they're like, who's left?
Well, here, I'll go to look at Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, or at least in our era. You know what? He didn't start his first year. How many years was he there before Brett Favre left?
Brendan Roethlisberger was number 3, and he was drafted with the 11th pick, not the 20th pick.
Exactly. No, and even look at Mahomes. All you guys love Mahomes. Where was he at his first year?
Sat behind Alex Smith.
Behind the Pro Bowler.
Yeah,
Behind the
who was lucky to be even playing.
No, he was healthy then.
No, but I mean, to get to that point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to have some patience and something rational, and I know most people don't have that anymore.
But if you don't play Kenny Pickett this year, he's a big boy. He's not a kid. He's one of the oldest rookie quarterbacks ever. And if you don't play him this year, how do you know what you have? You may have to draft a quarterback again in the first round next year.
Well, guess what, Smoking Jim? They may, because it's a better quarterback class.
You said it
10
all along.
times better
You said
than
it all
this year.
along.
When you get the best quarterback in the worst quarterback class in years, decades.
That's the point that I keep hearing. He's the most NFL-ready quarterback out of this draft. Well, this draft class for quarterbacks is one of the worst in recent memories.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, and I hate to keep beating a dead horse because I owned horses. They were alive. That this dead horse, put Kenny Pickett against the Browns, I'll be happy to hear everybody silenced about Kenny Pickett. And I'm an optimist that he can play in the NFL, just not now.
I got money on Cleveland.
Well, we know.
Myles Garrett
Guess what?
isn't
How was
playing.
your money on
He'll
Cincinnati?
be playing. He got a
Wait,
neck. but
wait,
he didn't
Smoking
practice.
Jim,
He'll
how
play.
was-
Jadeveon
your
Clowney's
money?
not playing. Winovich isn't playing.
Winovich from TJ?
No,
He ain't
yeah,
playing?
yeah, no, he ain't playing. Yeah.
Hold it. How was your Cincinnati money that you made?
I made up for it with New England.
See, he lost one week, didn't tell us about it. So all of you that listen to him bet Cincinnati, I know you struggled a little bit.
But this, I'm giving you guys something that I usually charge for that I'm giving out free. Oh, I forgot. That's not my segment yet. I'm sorry, Machine.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought Machine threw it to me. My fault, buddy.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
I wanted to put some
Fiction
All
and
right,
fact.
hold it. Time out. Here we
From
go.
Smoking Jim's
Josh,
Almanac.
we're coming up with Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac in 10 seconds. Put it up there.
Thanks, Levine, the talking machine.
You're welcome.
Hey, I'm gonna put money in you guys' pocket.
I'll take it now.
I usually will charge for this,
Give
but
me
I'm
it
gonna
now.
tell you how the Pittsburgh Steelers can add 10 points to their total on offense every game, and that should be enough to win most games. But here's and stop me, Chip.
Who they playing?
When you see the correlation, I'm going to just run off some names. Marshall Faulk, Thurman Thomas, Gail Sears, Le'Veon Bell, Herschel Walker, Frank Gifford, LaDainian Tomlinson, Roger Craig, Larry Brown, Calvin Hill, Ward Dunn, the A-Train, Mike Allstott, Merrill Hodge, and Franco Harris. You see where I'm going with this? Mm-hmm. Where? There you go. Where
Down
I'm
your
going
sheet.
with this
You're
is
going down your sheet.
where I'm going with this.
How many
is
was that? 10 or 15?
It was like 12 or so. But where I'm
Okay,
going
I
with
said
this,
10 or 15.
these are all outstanding running backs who also had the ability to catch the football out of the backfield and made their team that much better. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think Najee Harris should be used more as a receiving back than a running back. He has great size, exceptional hands for a running back.
How many passes did he catch last year?
He caught 76 last year.
Thank you. They
but
were
this
using
year
him.
they're not throwing to him. He
Who's
only
the
It's been
offense?
2 games.
But-
Wait, who's the offensive coordinator?
Canada. But
Okay.
what I'm saying is
That's
the
what
one
you
thing
call
that I'm
Canada.
saying is
You're right.
when you have a line, and Chip made a great point. The line is doing a
You
good
two
job
are agreeing too much
pass
over there.
blocking, and you made a good point that they can't run block. So why keep trying to run? There's
Or pass
nobody
block.
that can cover Najee Harris out of the backfield. You got receivers now that'll catch anything, short passes. You can control the game. He should be catching 6 to 10 passes a game. You ever hear of a guy named Larry Centers? Nobody will ever break his record. 827 receptions, 6,000 yards. He only rushed for 2,000 yards. But more like what you can have, that'll open up the running game like Chip said. Now you can have a guy that can do what Roger Craig did. Roger Craig, 566 career receptions, but 8,000 career rushing yards. So you can have a dual threat with Najee Harris. I would throw to him. Nobody can cover him. He's wide open every time he goes out of the backfield.
Let me interrupt you. You're a great scout.
There's your prop bet for Thursday night.
You confirmed what we learned last year about Najee.
Yes. Yes.
So
but
all
that was
you're-
with Big Ben.
No, but all you're saying is Canada, you got to adjust with the players you have. You don't have an old, crippled Hall of Fame quarterback who can win a game in the last 5 minutes.
Good point. Very good.
So thank you, Smoking Jim. We're
You're
going to Chip Hayner and trivia time in 10 seconds.
All right, everybody, welcome back. And, just talking about how pathetic the Steelers' offense is. I'll just
Pile on.
there's another team that has 2 offensive touchdowns scored, 1 in each game. Okay, and they're 2-0. They also happen to have Tom Brady as their quarterback. Figure that one out. But
Hold it. What happened to the greatest coach in the NFL since you mentioned about Brady?
you
What
meant
happened-
the one that instigated the fight.
Cheater.
No, wait,
and
well, you
Brady.
mean the coach that instigated the fight on the field with the Saints? We'll get to that one later. But
Yeah.
anyhow,
No,
so
I'm talking about Belichick.
what I'd like to bring to people's attention is the passing of a legendary baseball player. Born on October 2nd, 1932, passed away on September the 19th. Maury Morning Wills. Wow. Maury Wills
Great
had,
ball
had quite an exceptional history in the game of baseball and actually played for the Pirates for a short period of time.
I remember.
He played Major League Baseball primarily from the Dodgers from 59 to 1966 and the latter part of 69 through 72 as a shortstop and a switch hitter. He played for the Pittsburgh Pirates in 67 and 68, the Montreal Expos in the first part of 69. He was an essential component of the Dodgers championship teams in the mid-60s and credited with reviving the stolen bases of
Yes.
baseball strategy.
He
But
was
just-
great at it.
Just to give you an idea of his accomplishments, Wills was the National League Most Valuable Player in 1962, stealing a record 104 bases to break the old modern era mark of 96 set by Ty Cobb
Yeah.
in 1915. He was an all-star for 5 seasons. As a player, career batting average of 281, 2,134 hits, 20 home runs. Didn't have a big bat, only 458 RBIs, 586 stolen bases. As a player, the Dodgers 59 to 66, the Pirates 67 and 68. I remember going to see him play at Forbes Field.
Yeah, I did too.
The Expos in 69, the Dodgers from 69 to 72. And he was a manager of the Seattle Mariners in 1980 and 1981. 7 times he was an All-Star. 3 times a World Series champion, National League MVP in 1962, 2-time Gold Glove Award winner, and 6 times National League stolen base leader. And he had the stolen base record until Ricky Henderson broke it.
Yeah, I misspoke that time when I said Ty Cobb,
Yeah.
but he beat Ty Cobb.
He beat Ty Cobb's record.
I was
But,
stuck in the history book.
But may he rest in peace. But he quite a contributor to the game, and back when base stealing was an art, baseball was a lot more fun to watch.
Yeah.
And he was stuck in the minor leagues for a long time, right? Because they had already had a good outfield.
Hold it.
was
Shout
old.
out to Johnny Mariano. Great show, guys. Thanks, Johnny. I want to thank Johnny publicly. Somebody knocked on my door the other day. I think it was Saturday. And my son's talking to somebody. I'm up reading a book in my bedroom, and I hear voices. And my son, Drew, goes, "Dad, somebody's here to see you." Well, I saw some guy tried to call me, Johnny Mariano, and he brings 2 Bethel Band hoagies, turkey hoagies. He goes, "I don't know if you like turkey." turkey. And I go, if it's free, I can eat it. He got us 2 free turkey hoagies from the band. I used to be a band dad with my daughter on the clarinet for years. I'd sell 100 hoagies every Saturday morning when the band was selling them. Guys at the Pittsburgh Press and the production department at Teamsters called me the hoagie guy.
Wow.
So we sold the Bethel Band hoagies at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. So Johnny brought me 2, and they were delicious.
He bought me groceries one time at Shop and Save. He paid for my groceries, and I'm getting ready to pay it forward one day. Pretty soon I'm gonna pay that forward.
How many years ago was it?
A few years.
Johnny, you're the best. Thank you. All right, let's go to VIP time.
All right, we're going to retract Steelers talk, move on to the Pirates, because Sunday's game against the Mets was great. There were so many ways that it was great because of talent, and there were so many ways it was great because it was terrible. So I was working at the Fan this day, so we had the Steelers on one screen, the Pirates on the other, because we still had to cover the Pirates after the game because we were carrying the game. And if you know what happened by the end and what record the Pirates set, hold tight, because I'm going to kind of just tell the story of my perspective about why
Are
I
you
love
talking
baseball.
to me?
Anybody.
Okay.
Anybody who
I won't interrupt you.
either watched the game or didn't watch the game. But holy cow, Jacob deGrom comes out there, and, with how poorly the Pirates hit, Jacob deGrom looks like a master, even though he's firing in these sinkers and these high 90s fastballs. The Pirates are just terrible. They struck out 13 times through 5 innings, I believe it was, and there were only 3 other batted balls put in play. So, and now we're sitting there, me and the host and a couple other people who were on staff at the Fan are just like, wow, this game is just, it's kind of tough. It's not looking great. Are we supposed to be impressed because, or the Pirates just is, not doing this well? So, then all of a sudden, deGrom lets on a couple base runners, and O'Neal Cruz, the savior, the guy who had the only other hit in the game up until that point, hits a 3-run home run, and we're going nuts. Life is great. He just launches a pitch around the same place he got his other hit. He just launched a pitch toward the 380 sign in right center field. We're all going nuts. Jacob deGrom left that game with a no decision because of O'Neal Cruz, and there is hope. You don't need to get a bunch of singles if you can have one guy on your team hit a home run and erase everything. That's not where I'm going with this. I know we're laughing over there. But it's like, you don't need to have all these singles and run production when you have O'Neal Cruz just launch a pitch, and it's exciting, and they're in the game. Oviedo pitched well enough to keep them in the game. We're tied. Going into the later parts of the game, are they going to go to extra innings? Are they not? Who knows? And then the 8th inning happened, and the Mets scored 4 or 5 runs. They scored 4, and then the Pirates scored again in the 9th inning, which made it kind of exciting. The game just wouldn't end. I kind of love when baseball games don't end unless it's a lopsided score, but that game was super exciting because of one swing of the bat. And then the game ends. The Pirates ended up losing, even though O'Neal Cruz had a huge swing in the game. Again, one of the first timely hits I've seen all season for the Pirates. And then you're just real sad because when the game ends, you hear the announcers talk about how the Pirates struck out 20 times out of 27 outs that they were afforded in the game, which is a new franchise record for a 9-inning game that the Pirates have set in their history. And I'm glad you're laughing because this is why baseball is great. This is why the Pirates are just an entertaining calamity. I don't know what to think about it. I should have been upset, but I'm sitting there just appreciating it. I'm like, what a game this was. So that's my perspective, and my opinion is that baseball is great. And even though the Pirates lost, I don't know how to feel about it, and that's awesome. Baseball. And that's it.
Two of our fans, Chief goes, "You're on fire." Amy says, "You're on fire."
Is that why you fanned me?
That's why I was fanning them. They knew.
It was a great game, but it was also terrible, and that's the magic of baseball.
Well, I appreciate your enthusiasm as a fan. All right, I appreciate that. Thank you, Nick. All right, we're going to go to my segment On Location in 10 seconds. I will wait patiently. On Location. I was going to ask Nick only one question. What's Crew's batting average? Chip on the trivia, 2-2-1. So he's up above the Mendoza line. Way to go. Patrick Higgs is watching, a friend of ours. Thanks for watching and tuning in. We appreciate you. On Location, we're doing boxing again at 4 o'clock, Smoking Jim at Fisher Prelim Boxing, Fisher Street in Southside. So it's around St. Clair Village and all that, so you should be safe there. I will not be. And we're going to be having some good boxing there. And we're on location there, and we've done, look, we did the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation 5K 1 mile walk. It was just a great day out there. Plenty of people. Everybody enjoyed it. And just truly their best, fundraiser. So it's great. We're On Location after that. I'm not sure where we'll be, but there could be more boxing. I've heard a couple little things. Maybe we'll be back to Millvale with Jose Carabella and things like that. So we'll see what pops up. And we've had a pretty good run with 5 or 6 boxing matches. So we appreciate it. We'll just open it up. We'll do an open discussion here. I don't care what opinions you have here. I respect them, and we can tear them apart after you put them out there. So whoever wants to kick it off.
Do you think the Pirates are great, Al?
Great.
Yeah, after that performance.
No.
Okay. Yeah. I hope Aaron Judge gets to 60
No,
by the
to be
time
honest
this
with
set's
you,
over.
if you've got the opportunity to watch the Pirate game right now, Pirates got a kid on the hill who pitched his first game last Tuesday in the major leagues, Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, I heard about
And
it.
he's doing extremely well this evening as well.
Nice.
He's been setting down the Yankees, but this kid threw 6 pitches in excess of 100 miles an hour. That's something that ought to
Nice.
tickle
Nick's
Whoa!
fancy.
You just mentioned velocity. Does it matter? I guess
Right,
so.
No, but I mean,
I don't want to put your fire out, but I always like to see what they do the second time around on a pitcher.
Well, he's
And the third time.
he's facing Aaron Judge for the second time right now.
That's what I want to see. Stay
a-
tuned to that. Switch from us. Go
And
watch it
Aaron
right
Judge
now.
grounded out to shallow infield, so I guess he hit into the shift.
Nice.
Now, I watched the game at Willie Islands on Wednesday. Pirates blew somebody out. They scored over 10 runs.
Yes. Hey, it's
Yeah.
good against Cincinnati. Here's the thing.
They swept them.
They win 4 against Cincinnati,
He
and
lost
then they
every game.
tank 4 against the Mets. So it's like 6 of one, a half a dozen of another. They've got 2 tonight, one in the Bronx, playing the Yankees tonight and tomorrow. Just like they did here in Pittsburgh, they'll probably end up going 1-1.
How close are we to 100?
We have 15 games left, including tonight, and if we win 8 of those 15, we'll only have 99 losses.
Oh, it's a lock. 100's a lock.
I don't know if that matters anymore.
It does if you're a degenerate gambler.
Oh, that's true. Well,
He's like Pete Rose.
I'll tell you what. If there's
He's
one,
like Pete Rose.
if
He'll
there's-
bet on anything.
If there's one reason that I don't want the Pirates to get to 100 losses, it's because he'll lose as much money as possible. I'll flip it for you.
Yeah,
you won't.
You want to talk about why baseball's great? I'll be at PNC Park to see the Pirates play on Saturday night. They've got the Cardinals coming up again real soon. Albert Pujols has 698 home runs. I watched him hit 697 the other night.
Nice.
Okay?
That's history.
So, that's history. He will be the 4th player in Major League history to hit 700 home runs. Now, if there's anybody I would like to see do that, I would love to see him do that this year.
Look at modern players setting standards.
Yes.
This is great.
Jim Ellenbogen's going to sign in here on this. The wild-caught truth, as long as Nutting is the owner, they will never build a World Series team. He gives trinkets to calm the fans only. LOL. They will lose 100. So he's on Smoking Jim's side. You're entitled to your opinions.
Yep.
I mean, if they lose 100, they're like, what's the big deal? I mean, they might
it's
get higher
money.
draft position.
No,
Oh.
it's
Well,
money.
even
Well,
100
that's the only reason I want them to win is because
So he
Smoking
don't
Jim
make money.
is betting against them.
100
but
wins
like
is
if
not
they,
even
if
going
they,
to
they'll
guarantee
have-
them the first pick
Right.
It won't. Well,
because
other
there's a
teams.
lottery for the first draft. pick.
that's fair.
That's
I
right.
almost forgot about that.
You forgot about
Um,
fairness. This is outrageous.
Well, the draft lottery is
Do,
good.
do
So
we all? Do we all agree?
Well, it's supposed to help to avoid teams.
it
tanking.
incentivizes winning. It
Do we-
incentivizes winning.
do
That's-
we all? Have we all?
Before you even start, no.
Are we all in agreement that Coach Tomlin got out coached by Belichick on Sunday?
They both played pretty poorly.
Belichick's on the sideline writing all the time, and Tomlin's just standing there looking at the jumbotron.
Oh no, hold on now. Smoking, you realize if it weren't for a muffed punt that the Steelers likely win that
Well,
game?
they-
no help for him. He didn't do
Well,
nothing
what
but stand
what
there.
was Tomlin supposed to do on the
Yeah,
sideline?
you know
Run on
what?
the
Was he
field.
supposed to catch it for him?
See,
Oh,
Belichick has never changed his cheating ways. He sent a spy in, Gunnar Olszewski, okay, and he had him bounce a punt off of his face mask. How many times
Wasn't
did he do
even
that?
close to catching it.
And you didn't think he was hooking up his brothers in New England? I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Didn't
But,
go the wrong way for the football.
but I'm just saying.
I mean that's literally was his only job in that game was to perform
Yeah.
well. on
No,
special
that's
teams.
His
That's a
only
good
job
theory.
in that
That's a
game
good theory.
was
reverse
to
looked
muff a
good.
punt
Yep.
deep in our own end.
Yep.
We don't
I thought,
normally.
it was a black guy where he was motoring around that corner. Didn't he look like Bullet Bob Hayes? 18-yard reverse. Woo, that gunner's fast.
You know what? I haven't thrown a
I had
dick.
to look at my TV twice.
That he watches on a 96-inch TV, so he can see everything. Because you know he's like Stevie Wonder. But I have to throw the race car disclaimer out. It took till almost the end of the show a new record for Smoking Jim Frazier, who's not a racist. I got to tell you, for all of you that may think he is, we know he's not. He just has never seen racism or sexism in Pittsburgh.
But he knows what statements are and are not discriminatory.
Yeah, but they aren't sexist or racist to him. To him. To the others, they are.
Right.
He always prefaces to him.
Yes.
So I caught it. He fooled me for almost 11 years. I can't believe he slipped that by me. He didn't know he slipped it by me. You know that? Because he didn't realize what he was exactly saying to him.
Yep.
On that, I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for your feedback. We appreciate it. You can give us scores anytime you want, but you know we're tuned in. Somebody in the control room will tell us, or Chip will look at it, or Smoking Jim will look at his sweetie's pictures.
Nothing.
And we're 3 likes away.
Please like Pittsburgh Sportsline for 7K. I'll bring in cookies for all of us. Or we have an anniversary coming up this year. All right. Please stay Joey strong.